It's a good time to waste your time with the three blind squirrels. It ain't no crime. Got Cole, Will, Luke, all friends of mine. They're gonna waste your time.
And welcome into the Waste of Time podcast. I am Luke Rapert, alongside Cole Walker and Will McCombs, the usual hosts here.
Heyo. Hey, guys.
And today we have Trey Langston, Trayton Benz. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Glad to be on. I'm a long-time listener, first-time guest. Really don't know what took y'all so long to get a Langston on the pod, so let's see how this goes.
Have we not had Ty?
We have not had Ty.
Ever?
Nope. Because Ty was very regretful that he could not be here tonight. He was texting me once he found out that Trey was going to be on the pod tonight. He was like, "What is wrong with you? Do y'all hate your listeners that y'all are having Trey on before me?"
I'm pretty excited, actually.
I think Trey will be a good podcast guest.
All right, legit.
I had trouble getting that
I'm putting
out.
y'all on the spot here. Who's funnier, me or Ty?
Oh. I'm going to say Ty. I'm sorry. I have to. I think his humor pertains to me more than you. But I do think you're funny, though, Trey.
I think
Will does not think you're funny, by the way.
I think under structured humor, you're funnier.
You're definitely more clever.
That's fair.
Undoubtedly.
Like
Ty's not very
like
smart.
I don't think
wait,
Ty
who's
means
clever?
To be funny.
Trey.
I think he definitely has a lot
Joke overhead gift.
personality.
Nice.
Okay, thank you.
Let's setting that one up. So before the podcast, we owed a service to some of our loyal listeners, particularly with the last name Walker.
AKA my whole family. Also, Morgan ironically started listening to the pod, and now she loves it. She said she like listens to it regularly.
But as long as, did she start ironically, though?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She was like,
It's
it's
not-
a
The best
whatever
way to
podcast.
start, really.
Yeah, it's not cool to like us. I mean,
No, you just kind of fall into it.
yeah.
You fall in love.
Yes, but I do owe the Walker family an apology. They took much offense to how we handled the whole Honey Nut Scooter incident.
did.
And I would actually, you know what? I'd like to take a second to apologize to absolutely nobody. We had the Honey Nut Scooters before the podcast, and I can, they weren't bad. They are a significant step down to me from Honey Nut Cheerios.
That would be a great soundbite. The Conor McGregor.
that's a good one.
Nobody.
That was legendary.
It took me immediately back to childhood. I had it, and it's taken right back.
I mean, maybe that's the problem. I have more childhood connections to Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
And
God, we get it. You are rich, Luke.
True. What do you want me to do? Win the lottery and buy Koala Crisp?
that was from our last episode. If you haven't listened to that,
callback.
Yes, go listen to that if you haven't listened to it.
Welcome to
Chris,
Humor
found in your
101.
Local Harps dumpster.
Ooh. Actually, Whole Foods dumpster, which
That's true.
is
Apparently
as
Harp,
clean as a
too.
Harps.
No, man.
Sorry, Max, if you heard that.
A couple notes here. So Apple Podcasts, I've been very frustrated with them this week. They will not get back to me. So having issues publishing there, but listen to us on Spotify, and the audio will be on YouTube as well. The other thing to note, I made a purchase this week. It was $200 total. I got a gold chain, and
Let's go.
I got a little hourglass kind of medallion for it that, like,
For time.
it's kind of, yes, for a waste
Wasting
of time. But with that, the sand inside of it is actually diamond shavings.
Oh, that is so amazing.
That's awesome.
Yes, and so that'll be the prize
You
for the
meant
winner of the draft.
$200,000, right?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Knew it.
200.
We have a very extensive budget for this podcast.
I remember when I was
There's no budget.
unmarried and could spend money on whatever I wanted to.
Oh yeah,
right, Cole?
we have a
we don't-
half-married pod here.
Yeah, Melissa and I don't
whoa.
share bank accounts yet, so
Really?
we just haven't had time. We will.
So you're like just splurging everything right now?
Did you guys
Yeah,
do a prenup?
I'm pretty sure she buys Chick-fil-A every day, and I don't know about it. I'm fine with it.
Okay, Trey, what's the best part about being married?
The best part about being married, I just say like having your best friend with you like all the time, and like obviously there's a degree of freedom that you lose, but it's also just like having that companionship.
Oh, that's
Good
super
one.
sweet.
It's a
You
good
love
answer.
Arlo, don't you? How's Jaden doing?
I like knowing when I'm doing a bad job. That was kind of a joke. Anyway,
Wait, what about you, Cole?
I It's too early to tell.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Because right now it's all great.
From Cole,
Melissa,
no positives
I know
yet.
you're not listening to this, but if you are,
Yes.
I love you.
I'm so lonely.
It's okay. We have each other, and that's all that matters.
It's a really good point.
I have nobody.
All right, let's get into some questions. And our first question here is a listener submitted question.
Ooh, so from Ty?
It is not from Ty. It is from Anonymous. So there is, if
Lie
you
Tankston?
if you click the link in our bio on Instagram, it can link you through to where you can submit questions, and we do prioritize those questions because we love our listeners. And so Anonymous listener asks, would you rather have one wish today or 3 wishes 10 years from now?
You get all 3 at the same time 10 years from now?
Yes. Or it's like, yes. I guess you could like hold on to them once you get them 10 years from now, but like you can't spend the wishes until 10 years from now. So 1 wish today, 3
So
10 years from now.
what's the compounding interest rate on a wish? Because I'm trying to think about 10 years in the future, how much my one wish is worth.
Ooh. Yeah,
It's honestly a really good question.
you could be auctioning
that's-
off those wishes.
It's 3 in 10 years. It has to be because 3 is more than 1.
I'm going 1 because the whole 10 years, you're just going to be like, man, I wish I could have wished for this. And then I would have all, like, I'm going to wish for probably a bunch of money. And then in that 10 years, you're
I'm
just
going to
be
risk for
poor.
salvation of the non-believers in this world. So it's pretty messed up, man.
So you can't use money to start a nonprofit.
so you're going to, wait,
start missions.
so you're going to bless the entire nation with Honey Nut Scooters?
Yes, that is.
Salvation.
Wait, so if you were to take the 1 wish today, you'd wish for a bunch of money. So
yeah, because then I can do a lot of stuff with that money.
Yeah.
And I don't have to wait 10 years.
that's
Yeah, you,
true. You get 10 years of utility out of it, but if you can gut it out for 10 years and just live a normal life, like our lives are pretty good
Yeah.
right now, I feel like.
In the U.S. of A, baby. Like, our lives are great, you know?
What would y'all spend your 1 wish on if you were
I
taking
just
the wish?
said salvation. Okay. Everyone's going to heaven.
Well,
I don't know.
okay.
Not
Thank
everyone.
you.
Arkansas
Reed.
Razorback dominance.
That's my second wish for sure.
Oh, sorry, you don't have a second wish. You said took one. You took one today.
I can use my money to donate to the program, and now that players can make money off their likeness, I can just pay all the recruits.
That's a good idea.
Lawyered.
I'm not sure
That's
that's,
not
how
what
that
likeness means. I'd like you to come here, so I'm going to pay you a bunch of money.
Okay, so
That's
okay,
not what
so
it means. It just looks like him. I don't know.
okay, so Trey, your wish is a bunch of money, right? So like, I'm assuming, you take inflation out of it, you're picking a couple $1 trillion, right? Like you're going because you have to pick a number. You can't just have unlimited money, unless that's. I guess you could.
You could just say, "I have a credit card that
okay, just never.
never hits the bottom."
Well, yeah, according to Ty, I can just take infinity times whatever number, and I'll just take that.
What's the first thing you're buying? First major purchase.
Major purchase.
Probably a house. I mean, we live in
Really?
an apartment right now. It's kind of cramped.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that checks out.
You have cramp.
What, Cole, would you really wish if you took the 1 wish today? Would you wish for Arkansas Razorback dominance?
Yeah, probably.
Because like that would be really cool. But if you wished for that and you knew that that was a wish,
Yeah, that's a good point.
then it's like you can really enjoy
I guess
it fully.
I guess I'm not really thinking about the 1 wish very much because I don't want that answer. I want to do the 3. I know you asked about what my 1 would be, but I guess right now my priorities are probably going to be way different now than they are in 10 years. Because I'm thinking in 10 years, I probably have kids, and money doesn't solve everything with kids. So it'd be nice to be able to, like, I don't know, wish for their
money does give you
happiness.
regular Honey Nut Cheerios, so
Scooters.
it's a big plus.
So-
Yeah, Luke brings up a good question though, because like wishing for stuff like happiness and like success, then don't you like kind of lose the satisfaction of like you contributing to those things or like those things being worked for?
Nah, it's not that deep.
No, I see where you're. Yeah, I would.
It's not that deep. Dude, if I wished for Arkansas dominance, I would just, I'd bet the moon and make so much money. Like just with
That's
Arkansas
true.
dominating.
You're getting 2 wishes here, basically. There.
And like, I'm making everyone around me so happy that are Arkansas fans. And I can laugh in the face with no repercussions of all of my enemies in the sports world. Twitter would be mine.
That's true. Twitter will be fantastic.
I would
Have you
own
guys
the
seen,
timeline.
like the happiness, they do like some kind of measuring system. There's like a data points for all the lottery winners, and I know it's like pretty famous or it's well known, where like I think it's over half of them become bankrupt within a decade, but I think it's like 80% of them experience like less happy, however you define that, lives after they won the lottery. And so that kind of goes to your point where it's like, you know, like, is the struggle, not necessarily even the struggle, just like having to work for the money, does that make it like, is that what really creates like happiness?
I think
how you would define it. You know?
I think there's an element to that, and I also think there's an element of like, you win the lottery, you cannot imagine
Extreme
like
high.
the happiness that you have of first winning it, and then you kind of expect like, oh, this is me for the rest of my life. This is me coasting. And
Also, if you're not already happy,
It's just a downhill. Essentially, the rest of your life is just, in theory, downhill from there.
And I'll be honest, I can't imagine that happy people are the ones buying lottery tickets. I could be wrong there, but in general, it's someone looking for a way out.
Well,
of
that even goes to the point that
situation.
their life after lottery was even less happy. So, I mean,
guys, let us know down in the comments below what you would do and if you would be less happy.
That's true. Before we move on, I'll just make one note. Make a note. That was a pun, because what I was going to say is I 100% want to wish for piano particular, but I have a wish I might as well wish for mastering all instruments.
Yeah.
That would be
totally.
so easily
Musical
one of
including
mine.
singing.
And that, I wouldn't want to use just one wish on that. So I feel like I'm almost forced to do the 3 wishes,
Yeah.
because there are other things that I want to do with wishes, but that is such a high priority for me.
So taking this podcast out of the conversation, do you guys think you could handle fame? Or like, would you want fame?
No, honestly, I honestly don't think I would.
I would want it alongside people. I don't think I, as an individual, would want fame.
That's a good point.
Let's say, like, if this podcast blew up and became huge.
Unrelated note, make sure to leave a 5-star rating. Like,
Well,
Smash
I mean,
that subscribe button.
I was about to say, my one wish would be for you, the listener. Yeah, you.
You were
I'm
looking at
talking-
Luke when you said that. I'm
I'm talking right to you, listener. To like, subscribe, share,
oh my goodness.
Venmo.
You're selling out more than what the Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, I am. What was I going to say? Frick.
I really don't know.
It doesn't
Fame?
matter. Oh, fame. I could do it with people. Like if we blew up together and the
that's a good
podcast
point.
itself was famous, but not me as an individual, I think I could still keep some level of like individuality.
Yeah.
But I think I wouldn't want Cole Walker myself to be famous.
And there's a difference between like A-lister versus like, I mean, just continuing on the hypothetical of a podcast. Like, it's like famous podcaster is like,
Yeah.
you're not getting recognized everywhere you go.
good
It's your life isn't so substantially changed from that.
Except for your voice. You're like ordering something at a drive-thru. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh my
whoa,
gosh.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Waste of time podcast?
Waste of, wait,
Holy moly.
wait, are you the funny one? It's like, yeah, I am, Will.
Wait, so Luke, going back to your like instrument thing though, so
Welcome.
if you were really good at every instrument, would you try to use that to like become famous or not
No.
really? Okay, it's
That'll
just
be
like a
100% personal.
Okay.
It's all to
think the
serenade
joy
different
of it.
women.
What you do is you like move to Nashville and just play like open mics.
Yeah.
around.
Like, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
That would be so much
But like,
fun.
I wouldn't pursue like a career as a musician. Like, it would be, I mean, piano is really the one for me. I think that'll be fun into my old age to be able to do. Saxophone would be a really cool one.
At a mall?
I think saxophones are baller.
What if your biggest dream was to master the piano so you could play at the mall?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a
And
master,
pretend to
you
be
better you'd
blind.
be rolling in tips.
True.
That's a good point.
Maybe.
You could also get away with pretending to be blind at that point.
What?
I think only blind pianists play in malls.
What was that word again?
Pianist.
blind.
That sounded.
What do y'all think of malls in general?
I don't want to. You're the worst guest.
I do like. I like malls. I think malls are cool.
It's like therapy. Like, he's our therapist. It's
What do
like, what do you think that means?
What do you guys think of malls?
Speaking of, no, this is not
Shopping
a
happens.
moving on to the next
I
question.
want to go back to
here.
the fame question. I think that's
Okay.
honestly
I
a
wanna
really
move
good
away.
question. I don't think, like, at least for me, it's like, you know, if you have kids or a family, like Luke brought up a good point where it's like the podcast, if you become like a famous podcaster, you're not going to be like on the faces of billboards, you know, like not everyone's going to recognize you. But if you're like Leonardo DiCaprio, like he has no private aspect of his life, and that sucks. Like I would rather not be Leonardo DiCaprio than be Leonardo DiCaprio.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times.
To put that on a throw pillow.
All right, let's do one more question and then move on. You're a burglar, but instead of stealing things, every time you break into someone's house, you do something that mildly inconveniences the homeowners. What do you choose to do?
Well, first I do my research and I figure out what the pet peeves. Trey's the worst guest.
What happened?
I don't know. He made a bunch of noise. I'd figure out what the pet peeves of the wife was, like just all her pet peeves,
It's got really creepy.
and then
Really creepy.
and
I'll
then
watch them for 2 weeks beforehand.
yeah, no, however long it took, and then whatever the wife hates that the husband does,
You try to turn the wife against the husband.
yeah, I would destroy.
You want to
that home.
ruin their marriage.
Who are you?
Yeah, that's what I would do. Like if she's like, hey,
Well,
if
this
you
is
could
what
just,
marriage does.
She's like, if you could just make the bed every morning, and he like is diligently making the bed, I'd go in middle of the day while they're gone and unmake it.
Cole, blink twice if you're unhappy in your marriage right now.
Oh my gosh.
Blinked 5 times.
All right, here's what I would do. I would come into their house once a day and move their couch an inch forward and come back every day and just see how long it takes them to notice.
I like that.
That's what I would do.
It's a good one.
Such a mild inconvenience.
Such a Winston from New Girl. He either
Yes.
goes too much or
Too
too
big
little.
or too little. That's like, I
Or
don't
you
even
could
know
just
how
kill the family.
inconveniencing that is, as much as like, that's a social experiment.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I would put every single time I would get a big cup of coffee and put it in like the back part of the toilet. You know what I'm talking about? So whenever they flush, it just floods the toilet with what they looks like diarrhea. It would be so funny. It's like, why does it smell like coffee? That would be good.
What in the world are these answers?
Man, that did not go the way I was
I
expecting.
would unlock every door to make it just a little less
So
safe.
you can creep. Cole's getting really creepy.
I would watch them for 3 weeks beforehand. Watch and learn their every move.
I think
Just put a photo that I took of them the day before on the coffee table
Take one single hair off the
For
dog's
20
back
days.
every single day
until it was
until
naked.
it is completely naked.
I would actually gift them a naked mole rat every week.
It's more than a mild inconvenience. Okay.
It's like, why do we have so many naked mole rats?
what do you wait? Well,
Okay,
One day
actually,
they're like,
that's not
"Where
an
did all of these
inconvenience.
come
That's just
from?"
awesome.
No, it's not.
this is
Naked
not.
mole
This is
rats
not
are
Kim
super
Possible.
cool.
This is not Kim Possible.
It's not your sidekick.
Oh, that would be cool though.
That'd be cool.
But-
I changed my answer.
What? No, but what do you do if you walk into your house, you go home tonight, and there's just a naked roll.
Naked roll man.
There's a naked mole man in there.
Mole man.
No, there's a naked mole rat in your house. What do you do?
I
There's
don't
just
know.
one.
There's nothing to
Just
do.
a single naked mole rat.
Yes. I mean, what do you just
You
like
keep
put
the
it
first
outside?
one. You
What
keep
do
the
you-
first one because it's like, I don't know. You got.
Would you
but I guess
recognize the
deserve-
naked mole rat if
No.
you just saw it?
Unless it was animated.
That is okay. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
You wouldn't recognize a naked mole rat?
No shot.
I think
I don't know what it looks like.
No, I have no idea.
I mean, they're naked.
Oh my goodness! I would kill that thing so quickly. Oh my goodness!
For you visual people watching the pod on YouTube, I'm sure you're getting
That
this.
is horrifying. No, look it up right now. Pull out your phone and look up naked mole rat.
Unless you're driving.
No, if you're driving,
Have y'all never been to like
Then
a
you
zoo
can
and seen
more
them
quickly.
like all together in those little tubes?
No.
They're actually kind of cute.
oh
naked mole
Oh my
rats are at
goodness.
zoos. Naked mole rats are at
yeah. Why do you
zoos.
go to zoos?
Gentry Zoo is a banger. I love that place.
I think
That's my
leaving
second home.
a Blu-ray DVD of
My
Ratatouille,
second home.
like starting this
Oh,
stack
that would be hilarious.
DVD Blu-ray of Ratatouille just somewhere in the house where they don't
Or
go very
not even a
often.
stack. You just slowly replace all the discs in their house
With
with
the
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
They open up.
They're like,
hey, do you want to watch
Gladiator.
Dude, that would be
Wait, this is
horrifying.
right.
Honestly, if you think about that, like how scary would that be?
That
To
would
start
be.
opening up your DVD cases, which I guess no one really uses DVDs anymore, but like whatever. And you open
That would
it
be
up,
even no. That would be even better if they didn't open them for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and
that's
they're like,
good.
oh man, I haven't like looked at these in a while. And they open up and every single one is Ratatouille.
Oh, that'd be good.
How did we get here?
That's genius.
Where am I?
and then you watch them for 4 weeks afterwards and watch their every
Like,
single
I guess we have to binge them.
All right. working on my time management here, we're going to move on into Is This Real Life?
Is this real life?
All right. Well, welcome into Is This Real Life?
That's the
that'll be-
best drop I've ever.
You think
that's
that'll
the
be
best drop.
copyrighted? That song?
That I do not know. It's in enough memes that I'm hoping not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
But in
Can't
this
afford
segment,
any kind of lawsuit. Like we
That's
really
right.
can't.
We really can't at this point. Our margins are so thin.
Well,
We
we'd have
just
to
spent
sell our chain.
We just spent $200,000 on a chain.
We'd have to sell all of our asset.
That's a good one.
That's actually a really good segue into my article.
Oh,
Make it more.
It
All
actually
right,
is. It's about a lawsuit.
First, I'm going to take a second. Trey can go first for us, but in this segment, what we do, each of us has prepared or found a wacky article that would make you say, "Is this real life?" Like something that really makes you question. Like, there's no way that this happened to real people. That this really happened, and so Trey is going to start us off and present his article to the class.
All right, so my article is called 3 Yemenis Sue NASA for Trespassing on Mars.
Wait,
Wait, how many?
So do I just read it or like part of it?
if you give us
NASA
a summary,
for
they sue
trespassing on
NASA for
Mars?
trespassing. Okay, I don't know how that would
Wait,
even
do,
work.
do the Yemen
Paraphrase.
people own Mars?
So I'll just go into part
Do
of
I
it.
know what Yemen is?
Yeah, it's a country.
So basically, 3 guys from Yemen, they say that
Country.
they own Mars and that they have the documents to prove it. They said that the planet, they inherited it from their ancestors 3,000 years ago. Their names are Adam Ismail, Mustafa Khalil, and Abdullah al-Umari.
Appropriation.
And yeah, so basically they sued NASA because the NASA trespassed
They
on
just
Mars.
claimed rights to Mars.
Was it a
Did
successful
they win?
lawsuit?
Yeah,
No.
but did it go to court or was it?
I like the
Luke,
idea
I
of
didn't
NASA.
read that much of the article, to be
Oh,
honest.
come on.
So NASA came out and said it's a ridiculous claim. Mars is a
checks
planet
out.
out in the solar system that is property of all humanity.
Someone had to write
not
that.
2 or 3 guys in Yemen. So I'm going to go ahead and guess it didn't go to
Was
trial.
that quoted by NASA?
Yes.
Do you think
That is
NASA?
awesome.
You think NASA had to pay him off to like drop the suit?
I hope
Guys.
not. Maybe they just like sent him up in a spaceship or
Guys.
something.
That's
Send him to their
We'll
homeland.
just let you go to Mars if you want it so badly.
I mean,
No.
it's pretty deadly right now. But
do you know how that's awesome? I absolutely respect those guys.
we should claim ownership of a planet.
Yes.
Mars.
Well, because
No, we can't.
I guess
That
they
one's-
claimed.
they own
There's
that.
already
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 Yemen
what do you call it?
Yemenites. What? I think it's
Yemenis?
Yemenites.
Yemenis.
Yemenis. My bad.
I'm guessing. I guess they made that claim because the Mars rover. So, like, we have to pick a planet that NASA has sent something to that they're
a good
actually
point.
encroaching on our property.
The moon.
We're a little. I think we're a little late.
We're a little late to the moon.
We just heard about it.
What's the next planet in the solar system? Mars is Jupiter.
What do you mean? Next, which way?
Like, wait.
Just the next closest to us.
No, Mars. Yeah, that's a good question.
I'll be honest. Like I learned all that in like 2nd grade. I couldn't tell you like
I
more
have
than like
no
3
clue.
planets. Honestly.
Really?
What?
I could
I
name
can probably name all
I
of
could
them.
probably
I
name.
would have no idea what the
I
order.
could name them all.
What's the first one?
Mercury.
Mercury. Yeah.
Then Venus, Earth.
Venus is not the
Mars.
second one. Is it
Yes.
really?
Yes, it is.
I thought Venus is one of the last ones.
No. Actually,
Number
wait,
2.
Oh.
Mercury,
I think that
Venus, Earth, Mars, and then it's Jupiter, Saturn. It might be Saturn, Jupiter.
Venus is the
I
next
think
is next to
Saturn,
Earth.
And then it's Uranus and then Pluto, I think.
Nice.
Smaller than Russia.
Pluto service area is smaller than Russia.
Wow. You know what? I absolutely respect that move by those guys. They
That's a
got
good one.
NASA to acknowledge them.
Yeah, that should be the goal.
They got someone to write that, right? To have to clarify, no, these people do not actually own Mars. That is a baller move. All right. Cole, Will.
I have a little bit of a saga. Do you want me
I
to go
love
now or
sagas.
later?
We can save the saga.
Okay.
Do you have something, Will?
I do. So I had a teacher in 8th grade named Mr. Renfro, and he turned me on to this,
Shout out.
this topic. He's a great guy, one of the coolest teachers ever. And he told us he was he was a history teacher, and we were going through. I think it was specifically American history, like the class, whatever subject matter, and we were going through like the Civil War, and he started talking about Abraham Lincoln, and this is a true story. I can't believe he still has a job, but he told us that Abraham Lincoln was gay, and like there was like factual evidence behind it. And so I looked it up, and I found an article saying, was Abraham Lincoln bisexual? And there is actual evidence in the Library of Congress. Look it up, about like journal entries that he has supposedly written about like a affair that he had with like a bunch of dudes.
Honest Abe
Yeah, Honest Abe was bisexual, apparently.
cheated on his wife.
Yeah. It's crazy, huh?
It's not very honest of him.
I actually
Yes,
did
Cole,
read
thank you for that.
a book on his leadership style, and they talked about how he would leave the White House and go and spend the nights with the army to try to encourage them. So now I know what they meant by encourage.
Him and George Patton went, wait,
We're getting,
that's a different era.
This is getting dangerous. This is getting dangerous.
Thank you for sharing, Will.
I thought it was interesting.
No, it is very interesting. I mean, good for I just don't know how to commentate it.
That's a hard one to comment on.
I don't know what to make a comment on. Yeah.
Yeah, look it up. Do your research. before
History.
you- Yeah.
Learn something new every day. All right,
True.
I'll go ahead and go with my article.
Okay.
It's actually pretty similar to Will's.
Harry Truman.
No, no. So the article is titled and this is from a couple weeks ago, or I guess last month at this point. But Japanese man arrested after dating 35 women at the same time in bid to get birthday presents. And so it's this story. I'm wildly impressed by this guy. He dated more than 35 women at the same time. He was working a part-time job, wanted some extra money, and so he pretended that he was serious about these relationships. Like he told almost all these girls that he loved them and like was wanting to spend the rest of their lives with them. All these women, there's literally.
So this is while he's 34. He's about to turn 35, trying to score a big birthday.
There's 34 women.
Oh, sorry, my numbers are
and
all
so
over the place.
some of the quotes they got from the woman here is because they made a support group for all these women that were defrauded and by this guy. And so he told all these different women that his birthday was a different day of the year to like space them out so that he had a constant inflow of presents throughout the year.
Tell me you weren't loved by your parents without telling me you weren't loved by your parents.
And so he ended up making out with like €800 worth of gifts.
Wow.
Before getting caught. And yeah, all these women.
How many were there?
Super
total?
serious about. It says at least 35.
That's how many have come out and admitted it.
Yes.
See,
Imagine being the 36th and being like, there's enough going on.
Yes.
I don't want to be associated.
Is, like, if he's dating all these women seriously and they're giving him birthday gifts, is he not getting them gifts back that would offset? Like, how, like,
I'm guessing not. I don't know.
he's just a baller. He's just getting all the gifts and not giving anything
Maybe
back.
he would find out when their birthday was and make sure it was like after his and then break it off after.
That would be genius.
Yeah, and the article ends citing just some commenter that just says he's an awful person, but I envy his time management skills. Which honestly, if he's able to maintain 35 serious relationships
And a full-time job.
yeah,
Like
part-time job actually, but
Yeah, his full-time job
somebody
was selling
said.
the gifts that he got to make money to pay for things.
and so that's just
That's funny.
incredible.
Yeah. Imagine someone like gets him a trip. You know how some people like gift experiences and not like physical things?
Heard that.
Like a trip or tickets to a game or whatever. I imagine him just getting pissed that it's like not something he can like own or sell. He's
Hey, babe, I can't make that date, actually.
it's like his
give me
favorite
a
band
Game
and he's
Boy.
like so mad.
All right, Cole, you
Yeah.
have a saga for us.
Yeah, I went down a little bit of a rabbit trail. I spent like 40 minutes looking through these articles today, and So the way that I go about doing these is I just Google random things that I think would be funny if it was real, and then I put article at the end of it. So like that's how I look for things. So I started this saga by looking for Garfield's biggest fan. That was my goal, because I just thought it'd be weird if Garfield had like, because you know, like those like closets where it's like, oh, and here's my closet full of random stuff because I'm a huge fan. I thought there had to be a Garfield stand out there.
I can't believe you went to your day and just it led to you Googling Garfield's biggest fan.
Well, this is like my 10th. I mean, at first I tried to find like an octopus worship group, and that doesn't exist.
Nothing popped up.
Nothing.
It was one of those Google searches where it's just blank.
Yeah, it was.
Nah.
They were like, we can't help you. If y'all want, maybe another segment can just be my like search history of everything that I looked up to try to come up with an article. But
yeah, the octopus thing was completely separate of.
Oh yeah, that was something I was interested in.
He was on Facebook groups.
Yeah. Anyway, so the reason it's a saga is because there's 3 people that claim to be the biggest Garfield fan.
Wait, what is Garfield?
It's the fat
Again?
Garfield,
The cat?
it's the cat.
Is it a
orange
cartoon?
cat?
Yeah.
Cartoon comic.
Loves lasagna, hates
Loves
Mondays.
lasagna.
I actually used to read a lot of Garfield books.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It's right behind Calvin and Hobbes for me for like comic
Really?
books. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 different time periods: 2003, 2011, and 2018. Just so we're aware of what we're talking about. 2003. The title is Garfield: Outrage from his biggest fan, with 3 exclamation points. This is right before Garfield, the like live action, was released. You remember where like everyone's a real person except for Garfield is CGI. Mm-hmm. Even Otis, that's the dog.
Odie.
Right? Odie was like a real dog in that movie. The only CGI character was Garfield. This guy, I mean, he just starts by talking about how big of a fan he is, yada, yada, yada. And then he said he's been training his whole life. I'll just read it verbatim. I trained my whole life to lay on my side, make glib remarks, eat lasagna, and belittle as many people as humanly possible. And now I'm a complete failure, ... replaced by a computer. He wanted to be the live action version of Garfield and was devastated when Garfield turned CGI.
Dude, there's some kind of weird pleasure that guy's getting out of it. Like, totally.
No, 100%.
There's some weird people out there.
Oh my god.
Also, he goes on to describe how upset he is about the movie. At one point, so Jennifer Love Hewitt plays the love interest of John, the person, whatever, the owner of the cat, the owner of Garfield, and he called Jennifer Love Hewitt J-Lo. He thought that J-Lo was the nickname for Jennifer Love Hewitt. J-Lo, Love. Whatever. Anyway, so that's the funny part about that one. He goes on for a long time talking about how upset he is, and he just thinks the movie's a bad mistake, and yada, yada, yada. This next one is a kid that learned to read solely because of Garfield and claims that Garfield is the reason that he's succeeding in life. He's a 3rd grade kid, and Garfield inspired him to read so much that he became a huge Garfield fan, and the original person that created Garfield sent him like a book and signed it. So we have the first guy who's pissed that he wasn't like the live action version of Garfield because he claims to be the biggest fan.
Right.
We have this guy who was taught to read inspired to read.
Basically, Garfield is the father figure of his house.
Of this guy. Yeah. Of Antonio.
I'm terrified.
He's got
of
some
third
big
person.
He has some big daddy issues with Garfield.
I'm trying to find his name. I think it's Antonio.
It's
Anthony. Sorry, it's Anthony.
Yeah. He goes by Antonio.
Anthony wasn't
He
really...
goes by Antonio.
Here, listen to this. Anthony wasn't really into reading until his older brother, Andre, brought him some Garfield books home from the library last year, and he was hooked.
Your face when you said
Yeah, no, he loved it. And then, okay, so the last one, this is 2018. It was... This article came out on Garfield's 40th birthday. And the start says, he's orange, fat, and over the hill. Garfield turns 40 today, and we met with a valley woman who may be the biggest Garfield fan in the world.
It's a Valley woman.
I don't know. Probably
Valley
wherever this
Girl,
is from.
Like California?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's in Cali.
Okay.
It's this woman named Penny. The opening quote of Penny: "One day I just fell in love with him. Maybe it's the lasagna connection. I don't know." This woman owns, like, she had never seen the cartoon and just read the like physical copy of the cartoon once, and then just started collecting Garfield stuff and claims to now be the biggest fan. So I mean, I'll let you decide, the listener. 2003, man who literally wanted to be Garfield in a movie. The man who was inspired to read Anthony, or Penny, the super fan who had actually never seen anything but just owns a lot of stuff.
And likes
decide.
lasagna.
Imagine,
Let us know.
Imagine living such a pathetic life that your entire existence is a cartoon cat.
A fat cartoon cat.
Yeah. Like, what is pathetic people?
What does that have to do with it?
Okay, Trey.
Just known for being lazy. That's what you look up to. You look up to the epitome of laziness.
That's true.
That's actually
He
a
is
good
pretty
point.
funny though.
I don't know.
I've never read a Garfield thing.
I am not. In
I
the
get that
running.
this is pretty underwhelming, but I was shocked to hear that there was controversy in The Biggest Fan. I thought it would be one of those Guinness Book of World Records things where it's like person who owns the most Garfield stuff. But no, there were a lot of angles. There's the education level, there's the literally wanting to be them level, and then there's the super fan.
I actually have a spin-off story.
There's no way.
I actually do. When I was researching for my article, I found an article about Garfield phones started washing up on this random shore in Italy.
Garfield what?
Phones, like one at
what
a
does that
time,
mean?
like every day, like a cell phone with Garfield on it or something.
Like on the screen?
like a toy,
Or
phone, like a toy phone.
On the back.
Oh.
It might have been
They're
a
all
toy-
just regular iPhones, but they have Garfield as their background.
They're
I think-
actually they're actually just
It was
phones
probably
Garfield
toy
owned.
phones, but they just
I
started
found
washing
them.
up on the shore, and people started freaking out. Like, where are these coming from? And then eventually, like,
Pretty sure that's in the book of Revelation. The end of the world.
30 years later, they found this tanker of Garfield phones.
I found the article you're talking about.
You did?
Yeah,
Yes,
so
yeah,
it's
there
like
they
a
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an-
I want one.
it's a legitimate
Oh,
old
never mind, I
phone.
don't want it.
It says they've been washing ashore in France for 30 years
Sorry,
or
France.
something.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's insane.
Also,
That's crazy.
quick update. I did look up octopus worshiping group, and there
Is
was
there something?
Well, there's on Reddit. There's a AMA about my peaceful octopus worshiping tribe.
Dang it, I missed it.
I don't think there's anything to this,
Dang it.
but I'll read into it and get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. Also, listener at home, I have an idea for a segment. I want to know if you're interested. But this has made me want to find internet fights and just hash them out on the pod. And just go through like ridiculous, stupid fights that I find like in comment threads or YouTube comments or anything. Let us know if you'd be interested in that. I think
We
it'd be
settle
kinda
these
funny.
debates.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we'll settle debates from like real people on the internet.
This is a podcast of healing.
And that's all it'll ever be
Yes.
until octopus worship becomes real.
Yes.
And then that will be
and
what
then
this
that's
podcast
what
is about.
then that's what we'll do. All right, I think it is time to get into the draft.
With the first pick in the 2021 draft.
That's right. We had to change the drop again.
Copyright.
YouTube is after us. They're on our number with the draft, not letting us use some of those drops that I used previously, and so replaced it with that one. Hopefully that'll pass the YouTube litmus test.
I mean, if you like it enough, we'll just pay the royalties for it. And
That's true. I'm not sold on it.
yeah, we won't.
We'll see. Today's draft, we are drafting board games, board/card games. So basically, stuff for a board game night is kind of the spirit of the draft.
Yeah, game night, what are you playing?
Game night. What are you busting out? I think there's a level of nostalgia to this, as well as ones that I play more frequently now and enjoy. And so
So it's the stipulation is that if you could play it in game night, then it can fly.
I don't think it's just that narrow because I think you can play 1v1 as well.
But like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But I'm
and
saying
also, like,
it's pretty
games-
broad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I think
and
the
there has to
only-
be some sort of physical copy of it. Like, it's not like a Quiplash game that's all online or virtual.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. We also
And-
said like no poker and no domino games.
Nothing with a deck of cards or
Yeah.
dominoes.
Nothing with a deck card at all.
Right.
Well, like, there's like
Deck of
Uno
playing
cards,
Right. Right.
but
Which is
poker
different
cards.
than,
Holy content.
yeah. There's a lot.
I'm gonna add Uno
Yes.
to my list.
And so,
Spoiler.
and so I have the first pick because last week Noah had the first pick, and we kind of go in a circle.
Oh, who won last week?
I won last week.
Yeah,
I
you
won
did.
in a nice landslide there. We had a we had a
Wait,
last-
what did Will get?
That's funny that
How many
you
votes
asked that.
total did I get?
How many votes total did you get? Do you want to count your vote or that
Yes,
you gave
please.
yourself?
Well, it counts. So.
Yes. Then you had 2 votes total.
I think one of the I liked the vote. I didn't know if it went up from 2. Apparently, obviously, it didn't. Was like some kind of like clothing Instagram account. Like I don't think it's a real person.
Yeah. So what happened there is my sister Marie voted for Noah, and she like responded to my story and was like, "It's either between Will or Noah for me," but she voted for Noah, and I said, "Well, Will."
What's her reasoning for me?
Since she's had more dietary restrictions and stuff,
Okay, well, that doesn't make me feel good about myself.
and so I told
That
her
was not the answer I was hoping for.
It's like because I genuinely liked some of the cereals.
She's never had cereal, so she thought yours was a pretty good draft.
you had some cute mascots.
She's like, ooh, koala bits.
Ooh, I love koalas.
And so she voted for Noah, and then responded to my stories like between Noah or Will for me. And I was like, oh, Will really could use your help. And so she went and voted for you from a different account.
So I really only got one vote as my own.
Yes, and it was your own vote.
Okay.
But
Well,
you
it's
know,
going to change today.
That's okay.
Believe in yourself, kids.
and so
You can do it.
so I have the first pick in this draft, and I'm going to take something. I know Will wouldn't take it.
Oh, what's the draft order?
Oh,
So
so
what format is this?
Yes.
Oh, great reminder.
great reminder because a lot of listeners out there struggle with this. The draft
Pretty
order
good
will go-
percentage of our listeners.
Yes. Luke, Will, Cole, Trey. That'll be the first round. But this is a snake draft, and so with a snake
What is
draft,
that?
yes. So in a snake draft, the
Wait,
order
what's a
reverses.
snake draft?
The order reverses
Okay.
after the first round. It
Oh, that would be a great like soundbite.
Made a snake noise.
and so after Trey picks to end the first round, he'll actually pick again
But what?
at the start of the second round, and then it'll go Cole, Will, Luke, and then me, Luke. I'll pick again to start the third. It reverses order every
That's so silly.
switching rounds, and so it's kind of crazy. Snake draft, revolutionary,
Kind of quirky.
kind of quirky. You're welcome, Ty. I know Will is not going to take this. Cole, I have no clue. I know for a fact it wouldn't get past Trey, and so I will take the
Don't
game
do it.
I played all the time in high school. I haven't played it a lot lately, but it was like the absolute biggest game for me. And yeah, the one that we had like literally weekly board games for, and I'm going with Settlers of Catan.
Good one. Is it Catan or Catan? I still don't know.
We call it Catan.
It's
It's
called
Catan,
trash. That's what it's called.
Is it actually Catan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Probably.
I was hoping because I knew Will wouldn't pick it. I was hoping it would.
Yeah, Will
if you
hates
didn't
it.
take it, it would slip to me. That's become like my family's like favorite. board
Oh, I
game.
know it has.
We play it every time I go home.
I wouldn't have picked it, but I do like it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on you. I knew for a fact it wasn't going to get back to me from Trey.
So fun.
I think Mel and I got it from your mom on our wedding registry.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, we just put a bunch of games on there, and your
Y'all
mom
should
bought
enjoy it.
Catan. Yeah.
All right, now we're moving. Oh, Will, do you want to comment?
No,
We're moving on to your pick.
I don't want to spend any breath on that game.
Doesn't have any koalas in it. He's out.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Settlers of Koala, that would be a different story. Thank you, Cole.
That was a good one.
Okay, so I have 2 that I really want. Or I have several that I really want, but one that I definitely will not get back to me.
Yep.
And then one that I think will, but I think Luke will take it. But if I'm correct in how a snake draft works, I will get another pick before Lucas.
Yes.
Whew, close one.
So that's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to pick a game that I'm not saying it's necessarily my favorite. I probably have some of my best memories game night, I'm just going to go with Avalon. I think that is the most fun group game.
That wasn't on my list.
Yeah, isn't it great?
How did I overlook that?
My 101.
Yeah,
my
I figured that
102
was
are
going to
gone.
go for
my 101,
Trey.
my 102.
It's just so much fun. College memories, like, and I guess what are the other? There's like variations of it, right? So there's Avalon and there's other types, but it's the same concept.
Yeah, there's what's the Hitler?
Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler's the same thing.
There's Resistance.
Sorry, I was throwing
Resistance. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Avalon is just a total banger, but yeah.
I think you get all those, by the
How
way.
did I not
Classic
think of that?
bachelor party game for all you looking for a fun time in your bachelor
He gets
party.
that whole like format, right, of that type of
Yeah,
game.
no one
Yeah.
can take Resistance.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know
Secret
which one's the
Hitler.
most famous.
That
Do you
was
all-
a great
probably
game.
Avalon.
I thought it was Secret Hitler. I'd never heard of Avalon until
well,
college.
I think
It's actually Resistance.
yeah, I think
Maybe.
it's Resistance.
Probably.
But I don't know if I thought of that if I would have gone Settlers or Avalon.
Just so much fun, man.
It's so fun. How did I overlook that? Now I'm really worried that I'm missing other stuff. All right, Cole is on the clock.
Yeah, I'm going a little more nostalgia, not like as recent. To me, I thought that I didn't think this was going to make it to me because I think I thought it was the unanimous #1 board game, and that's Monopoly.
Yep.
It's a good game.
It's just
Boring.
Monopoly is not boring.
Actually, I
frosted
really do
flakes.
love
I
it.
really love Monopoly. Also, like
There's a stigma.
But I also
When they-
agree. I can see what people say when
Yeah.
they say it's boring. I love it.
yeah, I like it a lot. I think really underrated is the era where they like licensed out to, or they bought licensing from like every movie franchise, and they basically just started cranking out those custom Monopoly ones that were so much fun. Like there was like superhero ones, and there was Harry Potter, and like they just had all the different Monopolies,
I have
which was really fun.
two quick Monopoly stories. One
Love it.
is on that same theme of those themed board games, like the movies and stuff. One of the coolest ones I got when I was younger was like an NFL one, but I had like the regular NFL that had kind of the teams as the
Ooh, I had that
locations.
NFL one too. Yeah,
That's great. There was another one that had NFL players
Ooh.
that you could take like the stickers off and you put them where you want them basically as
that's
the
dope.
things. That was really cool. The other one, me, Noah, Jonathan, and Andrew used to play some, and there was one night that we were playing it was very, very late at this point. The game had gone on for a really long time. There was only one Monopoly unowned, and it was like one of the early light blue ones. I owned two of them. Basically, we're all just rolling around the board to try to land on this one square. Andrew ended up landing on it first, and I just charged him rent as if I owned it, and he just never questioned it. He just paid me the rent.
Oh my
kept moving
gosh.
on. Didn't realize it. Noah saw it, but the game had gone on for so long that he was just dying laughing and just like let it slide.
That's so awesome.
And then I come back around the next time, land on it, buy it, and then Andrew realized what happens, and we might have just like ended the game there or something. I don't know.
There's
but
no continuing after that.
That's great.
Oh, quick aside. I was watching Home Videos Sunday. The only reason it was brought up was because of NFL players. And there's a video of me, maybe 8, 9, wearing a LaDainian Tomlinson jersey, a Chargers LaDainian Tomlinson jersey.
You, it's a cool
Denver,
I almost didn't bring it up because I knew it would be used against me.
you snake.
But I thought
But my
I
brother.
would connect with you on that.
Charger
He was just
fans.
a popular, like, running
LT,
back.
and he's such a good guy too. Like he's
Is he? I actually know nothing
he's
about
a
him.
great guy. Yeah.
Great.
He's
fantasy
actually a
running
great
back.
guy.
Oh, Lan? Do you call him Lan?
All right, moving on. Now Trey has back-to-back picks. He missed out on his first two, but let's see if he can make up for it.
Was
with
Monopoly your
back-to-back here.
third? 103?
It was in my top 5, but not
Okay.
the 103.
Trey's getting wrecked right now.
I'm kind of tilting right now, honestly. I thought for sure I'd walk out with Avalon.
Tilting Towers?
Some of the
Or Catan.
some of these drafts, it really doesn't matter where you are in the draft. Like some of them are obscure enough. This one feels like you want to get your favorites.
I'm
Dude, there's a
glad I got that
Fortnite
one.
Monopoly board.
Undoubted. No, I guarantee there is.
That's probably great. Tilted Towers is like one of the last ones.
All right, I think I'm going to split mine here. I'm going to go one nostalgic and one a little more recent.
I like that.
For my nostalgic one, this was like the game that me, Ty, Josh, and Cannon bonded over
Oh, I know what it is.
in high school. Like every summer, we would play it like every night over at Josh's house. And
Y'all tried
we got
so hard at this.
we got way too good at it for no reason, and people hate playing with us. But I'm going to go with Clue.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's
a good pick.
It's more of, I don't play it a ton anymore, but more nostalgic there.
I haven't played it a ton.
Never played it.
If I'm in the mood for it, it's awesome. But if I'm not in the mood for it, and I'm playing with one of y'all, and you're going super try hard, it's like just miserable.
No, yeah, I used to really enjoy. I mean, I was fine with it.
You ruined
I
it.
played with y'all once, and like I literally almost drowned because of the sweat. Like, it was ridiculous.
There shouldn't be a big skill
What room were
gap.
you in? I don't know how to play Clue.
There should not be a big skill gap for Clue, but we basically created one.
that was me guessing how to play Clue.
So that was nostalgia.
Yeah, and I think I have another one that'll come back to me, so I'm going to go with a more recent one.
Okay.
We've played it as a group, a big group, and it's just really fun for a game night. You kind of have to have the right people, but I'm going to go with Game of Things.
That's a good pick.
No,
It's
a good one.
dang
Great.
it,
It's
that's a
just,
great pick.
That can get so derailed.
I mean, if
and-
everyone has a couple beers, it makes it a little better.
A couple brewskis.
But yeah, Game of Things.
That
a good one.
100% would have been
Josh
one
is
of my picks
stealing.
coming back around.
Okay, I'm back on the board. I don't think Will would take this, but Luke might. I also don't know if y'all
I
consider
don't
this
like
a board
that.
game. But I'm going to take chess. Oh, Will was going to take
So
it.
here's my thing.
Screw that, man. You're just pandering for votes.
No,
I hate
no.
you.
Here's-
I was
okay.
in chess club.
okay,
in school.
as a nerd.
No, here's my thing. Here's my thing.
What a
And
double
that's
whammy.
that's a fine pick.
Okay.
Chess is one of my favorite games of all time. I
think you should be able to pick it.
absolutely love chess. Literally all throughout Woodland and junior high, there was chess club on Fridays. We didn't care. We went every single day early to our professor or our teacher's classroom and
Yep.
played. I love chess more than I love it. It to me does not fit the spirit of the draft.
Sure.
I think you
Like-
should be able to pick it.
No, I agree that he should be able to. I just wouldn't have for this draft because it does not fit that theme
Not like
for
a
me.
game night.
That's I figured
idea.
it'd be your 101. I was
Right.
like 100% certain it was going to be.
If I thought it'd fit kind of like what my ideal for this draft would be, like I'm
Yeah.
thinking game night. We don't really sit around playing chess.
I don't know if it
But-
is like a vote getter. Like, I don't know.
I
if
think
it is.
because
think it will be.
because of the theme, it might not be, but
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
it's
But
an unbelievable game.
I mean, there's just a lot of nostalgia in it for me. I'm not even really that good. Like, I never learned openings. I never learned any of that. I know what the pieces do, and I used to play all the time. I was in chess club like in middle school, and then I had the like mobile chess on like the app from the app store.
Yeah.
So I played that with my mom and dad and like family all the time. When we went to my grandparents' house, they had like a really fancy chessboard that I would play with like all my cousins and family. So I grew up playing chess and love it. I remember playing Luke in college and just getting smoked and rolled and being like, wow, I wasn't intense about this like I thought I was. I was like, I thought I was really good at
I
this.
love chess. I always start out when I'm white. I played the Italian game.
Yeah.
I hope that they play the two knights defense so I can go into the fried liver attack. If instead they bring out their bishop, I go into the Evans Gambit.
See, I just don't know
I love
any of
chess.
this. Yeah.
holy nerd.
Yes, I'm very nerdy when it comes
Queen's
to
Gambit,
chess.
did you watch that?
I did not yet. I've
It's,
heard good
it's
things.
really, really good. I like it
I
a lot.
played Blake Young one time, and he intentionally gave me his queen and both rooks, and still demolished me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's really
Smart
good.
cookie.
He's who I like learned from. Basically, like we played all
he's
the
a
time at
beast.
Woodland.
I used to play
In
with
high school.
Josh and Cannon on the app all the time, and none of us were that good. But every time we'd get something with no repercussions, we'd just text each other, "Free pawn."
That's funny.
All right, moving on to Will.
I'm gonna go with. I was gonna pick chess there. That's been like just a battle with me and my brother for. That was like a nostalgia thing. But instead, I'll probably pick my personal favorite board game, in Risk. Risk
great
has
one.
always been my favorite board game. I know a lot of people, some people think it's boring. I just think it's super fun, and I don't know. It's really fun to team up with someone and intentionally get someone out within 10 minutes. Josh Belford, and
That part is fun to me.
You
That's
don't
the
like
fun
Risk?
part of Risk. I hate Risk, and here's
Oh,
why.
I thought you liked it.
Garbage.
No, I think because here's what happens. The game goes one of two ways. Either just someone steamrolls the whole board and it's not fun, or if there's like equal competition, then like the game goes on forever, and then it comes down to everyone just has tons of troops. It comes down to you're just rolling dice constantly, get them off the board. Whoever has the last like big playing their cards down to add that big rush of troop wins, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
There's not really an in between happy medium for me.
that's fair. I just always liked it.
I love the like trying to get alliances and like
Yeah.
like it's more fun with if you have a good group of people that you are like, hey, come on, let's like take him out.
Yeah.
Like that's the fun part to me.
Well, you transitioned very nicely into my pick. I'm just sweeping declaration. I'm not winning this draft. A lot of the ones that, there's some that I wanted that could have been more winning the draft type of picks are gone. And so I'm just going full homer here. I'm going with diplomacy.
Nice.
It takes, if you want to talk about a game that takes forever, it takes forever, but it's sort of,
By the way,
I assume
whose
most of
turn
y'all
is it?
haven't played it.
No,
I'm
played
talking
it.
to the listeners.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I've played it.
But basically, it's sort of like Risk. There's kind of the board, and you want to take over. You want to take over Europe, and take over the world in this. And it's sort of like Risk, where you're amassing your attack and moving. There's no dice rolling. There's no luck involved at all. It's all about talking to people, gaining alliances, getting their support for something. You can lie to someone, say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to support you here," and then completely turn around and backstab them. It is 100%. It's just strategy and negotiations / forming alliances, knowing how to trust, knowing how to lie.
Yeah.
I think it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good game.
And so I think that is the most fun game to me. This one, all right.
I also love the element of like leaving the table
Yes.
to like talk with people and then come back. Like that's really fun.
And it's interesting where like if you're doing it all in one sitting or doing a lot kind of alliances form and they kind of just like stick how they are. But there are times you could do it where like you only do like 1 or 2 turns like a day or something. You'll talk like 30 minutes in between turns or something and like go about your day and then come back to it later. And then all throughout that time apart, you can talk and negotiate. And that's where it gets really interesting. This one, I'm not 1,000% sure I can take it. I'll let y'all be the deciders on this. I think it is different enough. I want to take Monopoly Deal.
I've never played that.
You've never played it? It's like the card game. And it plays nothing like Monopoly.
yeah, it doesn't.
But it is branded like Monopoly. There's the objective of you want to get like these 3 Monopolies, and the cards have similar names, but the game is completely different.
I think it's different enough.
I'd be cool with it.
Okay, and it's not a vote getter.
Yeah, I was about to
That's
say,
the thing.
You can take it.
If I was like trying to sneak in something a little trippy, like sellout pick,
You'll probably
I'd
get the
understand
random
it, but
people that like.
If you played it, you love it.
yeah, it's
awesome.
fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'll take Star Wars Monopoly.
Lego
But
Star Wars
Monopoly Deal. It's a card game version of Monopoly, sort of. Plays very differently, but it's much quicker. Good for like 4 people. You can knock out a game in like 15, 20 minutes and lots of fun.
100%.
All right, Will's on the clock.
I don't know if this one's gonna fly or not. I don't know. This is really close to Avalon for me for like a group game night kind of thing, but you don't actually have to buy anything. It's Fishbowl. Would that work or no?
I think Fishbowl
There's
is so
physical
similar to a
paper.
Game of Things.
Fishbowl is nothing like Game of Things.
It's nothing like Game of Things.
Wait, I'm thinking of the wrong game then.
Yeah.
Fishbowl is like where you do
More
like
like
you pick like an actor and then
you do a person
names
it's
plays
all
like
out
charades.
loud and you try
it's
to.
like, kind of like charades.
It's like variations of charades, essentially.
I would.
It's
fine with that.
It's a
interesting
game
where it's
night,
like-
so I would say that counts.
Yeah.
The whole is like a physical aspect.
Because
and
you also
like a
don't have to buy
paper.
anything for Game of Things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Well, you could. Yeah.
You can.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go Fishbowl then. I think that's a super fun game.
Because it's interesting because it's like chess is very distinctly a board game, but it's not really a board night game, like a
Right.
Like
board
game
night
night,
game.
yeah.
And then Fishbowl is very much a game night game, but it's not really like a board or card game.
Right.
But I love it.
Okay,
It's
sweet.
a lot of fun.
I feel like I'm going such a different direction than
I will also say
all of you.
anytime I've played Fishbowl in any sort of recency, I always go Powerpuff Girl themed. And so my place will be the city of Townsville. My thing will be Secret Ingredient X. My person will be Mojo Jojo. So,
That's funny.
Spoiler alert.
I went ahead and filled in my 3rd and 4th because the way this draft is going, I don't think they're going to be taken.
Are you going like more nostalgic? I feel like.
Yeah, I've gone very nostalgic, which I also think is vote getting. I think it's both.
Yeah.
My 3rd one was probably the most played game in my household, Yahtzee.
Ooh.
Yahtzee is like by far one of my favorite. I don't even know if you would call it a board game. It's like dice in a cup and you roll it and you just associate it with points. But I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun as a kid. And then even older, like It has like kind of the mindless, like you don't have to do much
Right.
for it, but you can still like, there's a little bit of strategy with how you allocate points. I like Yahtzee. It just has a classic feel for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever played that.
Yeah.
I haven't.
It's super popular.
I've definitely played it, but it like wasn't a big part of what I played. Like I might have played like a game or two.
I'm realizing that like this whole draft is very dependent on like,
Yeah.
it's streaky. It's did you get hooked at some point and then play it a lot?
Yeah.
Because I got the 4 that I have, because I think the 4th one will make it back to me. Like, just I played it really streaky.
Yeah. No, that's good. Good one.
All right. For both
Trey's
of these,
wrapping up his draft here. He has Clue, Game of Things, and then his last 2 picks here.
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn between 3, so I got to pick 2. I think they're both going to be a little newer games. Really recently, like since college, my family has just really gotten to playing board games together. It's kind of our thing. And then I really like doing game nights with like friends.
Can't
and
have
stuff
that
now,
as a
too.
thing. I'm sorry, I'm joking. Go ahead.
So the first one, I'm going to go definitely a newer game that we've played, but ton of fun. I've played it with a ton of different groups, and I like the strategy of it. I'm going to go with Codenames.
Ooh.
I had that on my list.
Yeah. It's a
What is
ton of fun.
Codenames?
It's like the one where there's like the 25 words out on the table, and you try to get people to
your
guess a
team,
combination
yeah.
of words.
Oh, I've played that. That's a good game.
You don't want me on your team for that. I'm very impulsive.
Oh, that one.
Legitimately. I thought Cannon was making a Phineas and Ferb reference at one point. Of course he wasn't, but I thought it was an amazing reference, and I just tapped one. He was like, what on earth are you doing? I was like, I'm sorry, I thought I was confident there.
Cannon, as big of a fan as you are. That's funny.
Yeah. And then for my last pick, I'm going to go with another game I've kind of more recently played. To me, it's just a way more fun version of Uno. You can play with a ton of people. The rules are pretty easy. It's just a lot of fun. I'm going to go with Exploding Kittens.
Never played it. It's on like that list of games you should try that you probably haven't played before or whatever.
It's fun.
It's really quick to pick up. It's to me, it's just a better Uno. Like Uno's more of the kid game. Exploding Kittens is like good for kind of all ages. So
That's fun.
Well, I think Uno, I mean, I don't know if someone's going to take it, but like there are ways to play it that it's super fun. Like,
yeah, there's
what's
like
the-
there's so many
there's
variants.
spicy
on it.
Uno.
Spicy Uno's fun.
Yeah, it is.
But-
That's the one where you can play at any time, right? Like if something comes up, you can just. There's like a fast paced one that's
Yeah,
like that.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
But no, Exploding Kitten's fun.
It's a good,
We played
it's a good
on
draft.
New Year's Eve this last year. We played Codenames and Exploding Kittens.
Yep.
So
So
This is
going to
be so dependent on what people have played growing
I
up.
know.
yeah, this will be an interesting one. I think I'm the only one as of right now that's going to be out of the running.
Yeah, I'm realizing that. I don't know. I think
feel like
Clue was
unless
a really good pick.
I feel like
think Clue's gonna
I've drafted a
hook
lot of ones
people.
that I've played like in the last few years. I didn't draft any like ones that people grew up
I'm
playing.
only drafting ones that people.
Except for maybe Clue.
Clue. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my fourth one. It feels similar to chess. It's more serious. I'm taking Scrabble.
Take checkers.
I was
Scrabble's
waiting for someone to pick Scrabble because I think it's super overrated.
Okay, because you suck at it.
I've never played it.
I love Scrabble.
I don't even
Here's
know
the
what the
thing.
concept is.
Scrabble, fine. Words with Friends, awesome.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring the app into it because I know it's like board game only. But also, what's the banana one?
Bananagrams.
It's very similar to
Do I
Scrabble.
want to take Bananagrams? It's not on my list.
It's
It's great.
basically Scrabble. There's just a time limit on it, and
It's nothing like Scrabble.
yeah, it is. It's like the solitaire version.
It kind
of
of is
Scrabble.
actually. No, it actually is more like it than I thought.
Yeah, it's a solitaire version of Scrabble. I like that quote. I'm happy with that.
Put that on a throw pillow.
Yeah, put that on a throw pillow. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna take Scrabble. I grew up playing it, and then obviously when Words with Friends came out, like, I mean, I was playing so much of that. That was my go-to high school game, like in class,
Scrabble.
playing Words with Friends. Yeah, or the online Scrabble. But I genuinely still like it. Like I like the idea, and it's so much fun playing like as a board game. Like if the four of us were playing, because the ability to like make a word up and hope someone doesn't challenge it is hilarious. Like if you pretend that like Zeronophobe is a word. I'm really bad at making up words. And no one challenges it.
Zeronophobe?
Zeronophobe.
I do feel like Scrabble is more of a like it's always been popular, so it's popular. But like think about the actual concept of like just making work. Like that doesn't feel like people would catch on to that, right? Like I don't know.
It's a way to prove you're smarter than someone else.
Exactly.
Which I'm all
I don't
about.
know.
That's fun to me.
It's fun.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick my last pick. No, first
That's good.
with a question.
Oh.
So you guys know whenever it's super late at
Muffin
night.
Man?
Wait, who has Avalon on the team?
I do. You know when it's super late at night and you're with friends or family or whatever. Maybe you had a couple beers, like what Trey was talking about, and when a man and a woman really love each other, and it's just like every single thing is funny, like no matter what.
yes.
It's just like it's the dumbest thing. I've had that happen a couple times. I've only played this game
Words, bud.
probably within like under 10 times. Every single time I've done that where it's just super late, everything's funny. Apples to Apples is so funny. And I will say the counterpart, Cards Against Humanity, I think it being so extreme like makes it not funny and it gets old super fast. I'm not a Cards Against Humanity is
It's
the
fun
shock
the first
factor-
couple times you play it.
yeah,
The shock
exactly.
factor the first time is like,
seen
oh,
all
that's
the
awesome.
cards.
The shock factor goes away though. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like
Completely
homoerotic asphyxiation. It's like it's not funny. Like
Yeah.
it's just. But with Apples to Apples, like you can be clever.
It's
you can
auto
be,
asphyxiation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know all about that, don't you?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
But with Apples to Apples, you have to
blinking
be
at
a little
you.
more clever. It's me, Will. What are you talking about?
President Lincoln. Go ahead.
He died many hundreds of years ago. But yeah, I think I have really good memories of that. I think it's a really fun game.
See, I had Apples. Apples was one of the games we played the most as kids.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I don't like it anymore is because it became my family's like, oh, let's play Apples to Apples.
Yeah.
And you can't just middle of the day break out Apples to Apples because it's so dull.
It's a night game.
It's a night game. It's like you have to be with the right group. That's like,
Oh, that's huge.
you can't try to win either.
The game
if you
is
try
not
to
the
win Apples to
entertainment.
Apples, it's horrible. It's
Like
like,
the worst
what?
kind
That
of
was the
person,
most.
yeah.
That was the
Worst
most
kind of
likely.
person is the person who takes Apples to Apples seriously.
Trey Langston.
They're like, you're telling me that fiery doesn't apply to hot?
Explain your humor to me, man.
Yeah, they're like, why don't you associate that?
Let me give you 3 reasons why my card is funnier than your card.
No, the worst
And
is
the
when
logic
Ty.
behind it.
I haven't played Apples to Apples with Ty, but I played Cards Against Humanity, and he like wouldn't pick one if it wasn't grammatically correct.
Yeah.
like if the question was the prompt was asking for a plural or something, and then the answer was in the form of a singular.
God, that guy's
Like-
the absolute worst.
Dude, just like fix it in your head.
Yes,
Fix it when you read it.
I don't know. That's bad.
Asphyxiate.
All right. Well, Will,
Auto.
you just made my choice easier because I was between Apples and Apples and one other game.
2 apples.
Yes, Apples to Apples. Yes, that's what you said.
You said apples and apples.
I know, and I said that's what you said.
Can I give a prediction what your game is?
You can, and you're wrong.
Is it seen it?
That's actually really close, but no. I mean, it's not. That was my backup plan. You have no idea what it is.
It's Twister, isn't it?
yes, it's no. Yeah,
So close to seen it.
y'all. I doubt y'all will have heard of it.
Okay.
If your last name isn't Rapert, you probably haven't heard of it.
Okay. It's a smaller audience.
Yes. Yes, it's actually a game that we made up. No. It is called 10 Days in Africa. That's the game. I'm picking this for Molly. So you are welcome, Mops. It is, I don't know how to explain it. There's a board with Africa on it, and you have to like basically
Why are
map.
you laughing?
and you have to make a journey out of 10 cards that like connects. There are different ways to travel across, either having countries that are next to each other, or there's cars or planes that have certain ways that you can use them. And it was really fun.
So the point of the game is to escape Africa?
No, it's to travel
It's like
around
Blood
Africa.
Diamond.
Oh.
No,
So it's kind of like Catan.
no,
Oh.
African.
no.
Is it kind of like Ticket to Ride, but in Africa?
What is
No.
Ticket to Ride?
That is nothing like any of
Is it
these
like the game
games.
of life?
It sounds like a
I'm
very...
so glad nobody picked a life. That was at the top
Yeah,
of a
thank
list I looked at, and I was
goodness.
like, that game is garbage.
Yeah,
But-
you got to choose between like getting your master's and having kids. It's like,
What?
yeah, boring.
Oh, in the game.
Those are the options when you grow up.
But yeah, so that's just, we played that an unreal amount.
That's awesome.
in-
I respect it.
As kids, because of it, I could name all 55 countries in Africa.
That's crazy. Also, I definitely thought there were like 15 for the longest time. I was like, there's not that many countries. How many countries can be in that continent?
True or
It's
false?
a big old continent.
Yeah, it's huge. The map makes it look a lot smaller.
It's true or false.
That actually reminds me. Me and my brothers, when we lived
Nice
in North
try, Will.
Carolina, we created a game called Langstonopoly,
Oh my.
and
Can we play it?
All the locations were like places like where we grew up, and it was honestly a ton of fun. It was just on like we just glued together like paper and made it. It was super cool.
actually love that.
Langstonopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That story was a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest.
Top 5 games I would never want to play.
That would be really, really not fun for anyone that wasn't
Yeah, we wouldn't-
Langston.
There'd be no nostalgia to it.
Well,
Like, what are these places? I don't know.
are we done?
Oh,
Is that the-
Orchard Park. Oh, yes.
Do we want to do
Honorable mention.
I have
Honorable
when I
mentions. I have
said
a few.
I was like, oh, and I hit my feet. I was thinking, I really wish I had picked Bop It. That would have been such a great game to pick in this draft.
Hey, you guys
It.
want to come over and play Bop It?
Listed.
You've never done that?
With the first pick in the auto mentions, bop it.
Yeah. I have Battleship.
Yeah.
That was going to be my 4th if literally any of mine were taken, but none of them were.
It's either, thing is Battleship, it's either luck or cheating. There's no in between
Which is
on it.
how I
Yeah.
like my life.
Yeah. The one I was debating between was Taboo. Have y'all played Taboo?
Taboo is
Taboo
great.
was on
That's
my
on my
list.
list.
Fun, man. And then kind of similar. I have Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. That's another one my family played all the time.
I have regular Trivial Pursuit because that was my
I
grandpa's
almost picked
favorite
that.
game.
And then
Also,
did y'all-
Legos
Go ahead.
would be fun.
Oh, Lego Trivial Pursuit?
No, just like building
Just like
Legos.
building Legos.
Did y'all ever
game?
play?
That
Did
can
y'all
be
ever
a
play
game.
Candyland?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
I have that on my list, but I just couldn't make it.
I think it's just like too, like it's too young of a
Yeah.
demographic.
And that, it's 100% luck or cheating. You're just drawing things and it tells you what to do. I tried to reinvent Candyland at one point to make it
Langston Land.
skill-based game.
I think a good game is like a really good combination of luck and skill,
Yeah.
or just a super funny like fun game.
Escape from
I had
Candyland.
Pictionary.
Escape from 10 Days in Candyland.
Pictionary is one I had.
Okay.
Connect 4. I really like those like 1v1 games.
Yeah.
Battleship, Connect 4, chess.
Sorry, y'all ever played Sorry?
I had Sorry on here as
Sorry's
well.
a good game.
Oh, dude, me and my brothers, me and Ty honestly tortured Kobe.
That game is
We
infuriating.
used to play Sorry with him, and we would always say sorry, and like we would say sorry, and he would like flip the board over because he was super pissed. Like,
Is this Kobe?
yes, he used to have anger problems, so we were honestly jerks. But yeah, sorry.
I wonder why. Honorable mentions for me.
Also, Seen It.
Seen It. So, Seen It. That's just a great game in general.
Do y'all know
Great
what that is?
concept.
Seen it? Y'all ever
it's
heard
like
of Seen It?
it's the clips of the movies and you like trivia.
It's basically like movie trivia.
Yeah.
but, like with a
Oh
board
no,
game.
I've seen that.
And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
there's the board on it, and you roll the dice, but then you could draw cards or something, or like get prompts that correspond with a movie clip that you have to
Yeah.
play on the DVD, and it's
That's a
really
good
cool.
game.
Great concept. Story on Seen It was for Christmas one year, my mom thought it was a good idea to get Jonah Harry Potter Seen It, which was, cool, except for the fact that we'd all read and seen them so many times that we knew the answer to every single question.
So it was mostly
So we
luck.
played it once, and then we played it once, and it was just whoever went first won, or whoever had the better rolls won, and then
Yeah.
we never played it again. And Jonah was very upset that wasted a Christmas gift for him.
Yeah. That's basically if my dad goes first in Star Wars trivia.
It's weird he would know so much about such a bad franchise.
Facts.
overrated
Gosh,
franchise.
someone's got to speak truth on this pod.
I already did.
Other
All of it's
honorable
great.
mentions: I had Taboo, I had Uno, I had Candyland. My last one that hasn't been mentioned is Stratego. That's a great one-on-one game.
Did you really
High
peruse over
astrology.
your list for that one?
Yes.
That was the word of the day. I almost forgot.
Is that the words with friends word of the day?
No.
Oh, that was
Webster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Webster Dictionary.
Merriman.
Who's Webster?
Merryman.
Yeah.
Also, Dungeons
Miriam.
and Dragons.
I almost brought that up. I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, it's awesome.
Only experiences with y'all too.
Yeah, same.
So.
I
You played it at
played it-
work or something.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
you weren't even there for that, was he?
No, I was.
He was.
I played.
Yeah.
So I was first introduced to Dungeons and Dragons. There was a group of us at work that would play when work ended, like once a week. Then we'd play for like an hour, and I loved it. And then we played again as roommates for a brief stint, and it was a lot of fun.
So much fun. Me and Will were both
Our dungeon master
chaotic
hated
evils. And before there's like a quest board at the start of it. And basically, if you haven't played Dungeons & Dragons, you can make your own choices, essentially. And they tried to guide you to a certain thing. But, like...
They just refused to
the
do
dungeon master
anything.
was describing the scene. It's like, and you guys notice a board in the middle of town with some, like, quests or something on it. Like, and then we're like, no, we're turning around and we're trying to steal a child. And we
And then
we got beat up by a bunch of, like, of the angry parents or something. And,
yeah, he kept punishing y'all for not going after the plot. He would like
Didn't work.
he would just bring up the most obnoxious things to keep you like trying to.
I think at one point Parker's friend like actually killed me.
Yeah, no, he was
Did that
like,
whole like
oh, and then Andrew stole all his money.
he was like, if you're actually evil, and then he killed you.
And so I remember my first natural 20, which is like, you know, you roll a 20-sided dice.
Dude, a
20,
natty
you
20?
you basically not only get to do what you want, but it's like increased. And like I rolled it. I loved rolling for super arbitrary things. And so my first natural 20 was to give Will a hug.
And
it was the best hug of my life.
It fulfilled you.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that Dungeons and Dragons had dice. I thought you just like make it up as you go along.
No,
with
it's
the
so
direction.
much fun.
Okay.
It'd be so much fun to do with blind squirrels.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it just wouldn't
chaos.
work,
Oh
but it'd
my
be fun.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What did we learn today?
I learned that Cole has just wanting to stalk people outside their house for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Our first episode in season 3 was a dark side of Will, and now we're getting to a creepy side of Cole.
Yeah.
He hasn't acted on it yet.
They used to
but
call
he's
me
just-
Stalker Walker in high school, not because of my actions, but because it just so conveniently
your thoughts.
rhymes with Walker.
Yes.
And I had to tell people to stop because they were calling me that in
Because
public.
they're pushing you in a weird direction.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like,
They
I
called
was like,
you-
okay, so I know everything about you, but...
They called you Stalker Walker not because you were stalking people, but just because you were having very creepy and dark thoughts about them.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, Cole, Will, what did y'all learn today?
I mean, Garfield is more complex than I thought. And the fandom behind it can be invigorating.
There's layers to it.
Yeah.
It's
I would
like an
stop
onion.
Garfield. Huh?
It's like an onion.
Yeah, or a lasagna.
Yes.
Thank you.
William.
If you stacked one lasagna on top of the other,
Lasagna.
is it one or two lasagnas?
It's two lasagnas.
I think it depends on how you eat it.
Depends on how many layers it now creates.
Does it?
Twice as
No.
many.
It's saying if
Doubles it.
it becomes over 5, it can't be 1.
What if
have
it
to be able
started
to-
with 6?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Here's the thing.
12.
I think
Yes,
I
yes,
do
Jay.
think it is how you eat it. If you were to
Okay.
eat it as the original, if your fork is only going through like one of those original layers, then it's 2 lasagnas. But if you are taking one giant scoop
So in
of
other
it with
words,
your
it's
fork,
2 lasagnas. Who just does one?
I think it's one lasagna.
You're right, but like if you did it all through this giant tower of lasagna,
It's one
one
lasagna?
scoop, then it's one lasagna.
I think it's
Oh,
one.
I think it's
okay.
just how you eat it.
Because what
I
if the
don't know.
pan isn't big enough to fit the amount of lasagna you want stacked
Yeah,
on top?
I don't know. William, what did you
Sorry.
learn today?
I learned that. I don't know if I learned anything today.
That's sad.
All right. Well, I learned today that it would just be absolutely terrifying to one day open all my CDs and find Ratatouille discs.
Oh, I have an idea actually. This is
Okay.
something I learned. I was thinking about this while during the pod. I think it'd be really fun to have like a podcast that we did that was like not waste of time, but instead like very
Super valuable time.
It's actually a lecture.
It was like philosophical, and we talked about like the, yes,
Perhaps.
yes.
Perhaps. Yeah, but- All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to the Waste of Time podcast. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff.
My one wish.
Yes, that's
Star
fulfills
Wars
Cole
is
wish.
Awesome.
Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Peace.